What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free. To live your best life, you must be label free. As you can see, we're here on location with another in-person live interview. Today's guest is a very special guest, a dear friend of mine. He is the founder of Appointments IQ and the very popular, very prestigious Tony P's networking events here in Chicago. Please welcome Greg DeKalb. Greg, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Deanna. It's an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, it's good to have you. He's been on it before, but not like in long form like this. He's been on the show like small like doses here and there.
Little snippets there, yeah. But this is great. We're sitting down.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it today. So I know about Tony P's events, and I know a little bit about Appointments IQ. So why don't you kind of like tell the audience a little bit about your background and your journey with both of those companies?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And thank you for that. So I started both the companies about 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I was in corporate marketing and sales forever, and decided one day just to roll the dice. Realized it was my time to go out and see what I'm made of, I guess, so to speak, right?
I love it.
So my background was always sales and marketing, so I was thinking of what might make sense, and Appointments IQ came to mind.
Okay.
And it's a marketing agency, and we do outsourced business development. So we work with small, medium-sized companies, helping them fill their pipeline, taking advantage of the latest technologies, etc., all in an effort to get appointments set, right, for your business. When we kicked that off, I was sitting down with Tony P.
Yeah.
And we were a couple of knuckleheads. We've been running around, hanging out for quite a while, and we were talking about different ideas on how to promote the business, and Tony came up with this idea. Hey, let's go out to networking events.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, that sounds awesome. Go mingle with some folks, So that's what we did. We went out to, we started going to all these networking events around the Chicagoland area, and kind of built a little bit of a following.
Yeah.
And people were asking us, hey, where are you going to be tonight? And when so many people started asking us that, that's when we built the newsletter.
Oh, okay.
And then people started subscribing to the newsletter, and basically at that time we were just promoting other people's networking events.
Oh, wow. So that's how Tony P started?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Just to keep it organized, where's everybody going to be at tonight?
Sure.
Okay, well, let's check the Tony P networking calendar to see what's going on there, right? And then it just was a little bit of time, and people started saying, well, when are you guys going to start doing events? Yeah. And me and Tony kind of like, we're not events guys, Right. And then we were sitting down, and we had this great idea. We were like, what are these nightclubs? Like these brilliant, amazing nightclubs.
Yeah.
A lot of them here in Chicago. What's going on there like on a Thursday night between 6 and 9?
Right. Nothing, right?
Nothing.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're talking about places that are spending tens of thousands of dollars to build their ambiance, right?
Yeah.
To create this energy. Because the events we were going to, they were great, but they're at, this vanilla conference room or something like that, right? We're like, no, this needs to have a little bit more energy, a little bit more of a vibe, right?
They got the vibe.
So we went to a couple of nightclub owners that we knew. We said, hey, what would you think if we brought in a couple hundred business entrepreneurs to your place? They said, have at it.
Wow.
So
I did not know that. I just learned something new about Tony P's networking event. Well, why Tony P's? Why'd you guys name it that?
Well, so that's interesting. So Tony has been networking religiously for 25 years.
Okay.
He does it just to do it.
Yeah.
He's always just loved it. And when he was walking into a room, people would be like, Tony P! Tony P!
Yeah.
And it just kind of rolls off the tongue, right?
Yeah, sure does.
So we were thinking about it, networking in general, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And we were seeing some of the other groups out there, and it was like, network social, network after work, and these different type of things.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, what's the essence of networking, right?
Yeah.
It's to meet somebody. It's to humanize, that interaction, right?
Yeah.
So we're like, you know what? We're going to go against the grain here.
Yeah.
We're going to name it after a person.
Yeah, I love it.
And because that's what it's all about, meeting people. So that's why the name Tony P's ultimately stuck. Yeah.
Well, he's kind of like the character behind the name. But you guys are a dynamic duo, and I've been going to Tony P's. I've met so many incredible people at these networking events, and I've been going since 2018, I think.
Yeah.
So before COVID, and COVID hit, you guys really kind of adjusted. So you took a different course, you did virtual, and that was really cool. I mean, I met some great people across the country. That was pretty successful too.
Yeah.
And then you were very nimble and moved quickly with that.
We did. So when we kicked off the first networking event, I was at Rock in 2017. So we're going into 8 years now.
Okay.
We were doing that monthly entrepreneur business networking event, and then we realized, okay, we got people in real estate, so we started doing real estate events, same with technology. And then cannabis got legalized, and it's like, okay, well, these people need to network too.
Oh yeah.
So we were rocking and rolling, and then just one day we're actually at a networking event, and they canceled the NCAA tournament. And we're like, oh, this COVID thing is for real, and so we shut it down, the events obviously, and we're sitting there and we're thinking, okay, well, what are we going to do? I mean, we want to be true to why we built this thing.
Yeah.
And when we built it, we didn't set out to build a company or anything like that. It was just like, okay, we think this is really awesome.
Yeah.
We can add our own flavor and vibe to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned into a company. And we're sitting there thinking, okay, what are we going to do? And it's like, well, let's be true to our values, okay? And let's do online networking. So we were on Zoom. And there's no revenue involved with doing the online networking, but we're like, okay, let's facilitate this. People need to still get together and all these different things. And a few months into COVID, we were doing the Southeast, the West, we had the whole United States mapped out, and we were doing about 4 of these networking events a week. And it was really awesome, and we didn't realize it at the time, but so it opened the doors to so much reach and so many people. So we've had people calling from every country.
I love it.
Enjoying us, and that's been just a really, really unique experience. And now that we put in that investment to reaching out, our future plans is to take this model and to go into other different cities.
I think that's a great idea. I'm surprised you guys haven't done it sooner, just because it works, and you have such a great experience going to the events, and people are, at least here, the ones I've gone to, are very friendly and welcoming, and they want to get to meet you, and it's always a bonus when you become friends with people afterwards too.
Absolutely, and it's taken me everywhere into our new studio here. So it's been a great journey. So coming out of COVID, people are a little burnt out on the whole Zoom thing.
Oh yeah,
myself included. That's the last thing you want to do. We got right back into it, and we're looking at our portfolio of events, right? So we're doing business entrepreneur events, we're doing cannabis, we're doing tech, we're doing real estate, and we're looking at this portfolio, and we're like, okay, what's missing from this equation? Okay, we realize, oh wow, we're not doing much for the creatives, fashion, art. So that's what led us into start doing art exhibitions and fashion shows.
I haven't been to one of those yet, but it's on my list. It's on my list to get to one of those. And you also did a few women empowerment events too, which were really great. I really enjoyed those.
And that's what we're trying to do is if we feel like there's an audience or a community that could benefit from getting together, we want to curate an event that's going to cater to them and their needs and give them a safe space to get out and network and meet and mingle.
Why do you think that your events are so successful out of all the other networking events or networking groups that are out there?
I'll say one thing that I think makes a big difference is me and Tony being there. We're at every event. I'm the first person to greet people when they walk into the door. Anybody that's new coming to the event, Tony knows everybody's face. He knows everybody's name. He's a genius like that.
Wow.
But he'll find out, okay, who's coming here for the first time. He'll go right up to them, understand their story, make sure that they feel very welcome and comfortable. We emphasize that so much with all of our events. And then just start connecting that person. And we introduce them. We have brand ambassadors that come into the event that are also power networkers, and they're there to make sure that these people are having a great experience as well. And then you just wash, rinse, repeat, and you keep doing this, and people just keep coming back. And it's basically how we built out the membership base and the following that we have.
And networking events can be very intimidating for someone that has never been to one before or not used to going to a large event like yours, because yours can get pretty big.
It is intimidating, and I mean, even to this day, I walk into a room that maybe I don't know anybody, right? And it's kind of like, all right, how do you navigate, how do you work the room and everything else? And the frame of mind you have to have is like, everybody is here for the same reason.
Yeah.
People are thankful whenever you come up and say hello to them. Yeah. Like, oh, good, I didn't have to initiate the conversation. You took that, and they're grateful for it because everybody wants to feel that energy that they met somebody new and interesting. Mm-hmm. They want to share their story, to figure out how they can collaborate and work together to, to build each other's brands or companies or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
What would be a good, pointer to someone who is seeing this and they're new to the networking scene? What are some key things that they should when they go into an event that they should keep top of mind to do to make it successful for them?
That's a great question. First and foremost, you just have to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, you got to say, sorry couch, sorry Netflix. I'm going out tonight. Yeah. I'm going to meet and mingle. I'm going to better myself. Yeah. That's the first thing. You have to have that mindset, right? Yeah. We do our best prior to the events on Facebook and LinkedIn. We set up the events. Oh, yeah. You can see 100 people that are attending. Yeah. I recommend doing a little bit of research.
That's a good idea, actually. I never thought about that.
Yeah. It's one of my networking hacks that I put out there. But it's a cheat sheet, and what's great is when you see that, chances are you're going to know somebody. Yeah. And reach out to that individual. I do recommend finding a networking buddy. Yeah. So you have someone to always kind of talk to. You get kind of your home base, whatnot. Yeah. Definitely go up and talk to the vendors because they're the ones that are there helping produce the event, and they're more than happy to tell you their story. And that kind of.
And usually get free stuff too.
And usually get some free stuff. So you come in, you follow the normal protocol, put your name tag on. Go to the bar, get your, whatever it is that will loosen you up, what have you. And then, if you're not seeing anybody right away, go talk to some of the vendors. Yeah. But if you're at the right event and with everybody having the same objective, to meet people, someone's going to come tap you on the shoulder. Yeah. And they're going to bring you in and they're going to say, oh, you got to introduce you got to meet so-and-so, you got to meet so-and-so, and next thing you know, an hour into it, you forgot all of your, anxiety or whatever it is, and you're just meet and mingle, and it's great.
Do you have a success story of people that met at one of your events? That something happened from them meeting at your event that created something great?
Great can be defined by a few different things.
Well, right.
But I'll give
top of mind.
I'll give you the spectrums, right? Okay, sure. So we've had a few people meet at our events and end up getting married.
I love that. I can see that totally.
So I mean, obviously that's not the objective, but when you get adults together, that type of stuff,
it's gotta happen.
Happens, and it's like I ran into this couple. They're like, "Oh yeah, we're married now. We met at your event." I'm like,
"That's awesome, though."
So that's one end. And then you take something like what we're doing here today. Yeah. Right? So Tom, skyscraper guy, started coming out to our real estate events. Cool. Got to know him, made him keynote and all this other stuff, and now he's opening up a studio to us. Yeah. So it can take you anywhere. You just have to be ready for those opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you have to be willing to have the conversation. Yeah. It starts with the conversation.
And then, and then you got everything in between, right? You got, we get testimonials all the time. One of my friends who does small business loans, he's like, oh, I closed this massive deal with someone I met at your event. And now this person's able to have the investment dollars they need to, go to the next level of their business. Yeah. And I see best friends running around together all the time after meeting at our events, so. Yeah, it's great.
No, didn't get marry someone from your events, but I've made a lot of great friends from your events. Yeah. That from 8 years ago, not 8 years ago, from 2018 to now that I'm still friends with.
That's amazing.
It was just really great. And I'm a big believer in networking because you never know. The world is a very small place. you never know who you're going to meet and who they can introduce you to. Even if that person can't help you with something,
right.
you don't know who they know that can introduce you to someone.
And it is. It's when you walk into the room, if you find the right person, nobody else even exists, right? I mean, you can sit there and have a conversation with somebody for a good solid hour and get a business transaction down. Or if you just want to spread the word about what you're doing, you can go up and chat with everybody real briefly. It's just, what makes you feel comfortable, what your goals are, what you're trying to get out of doing the networking. And then the one thing I'll add on to that is the after the event, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everything is in the follow-up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a big part of it.
You're collecting cards and all these different things, and first thing I do in the morning when I wake up after a networking event, I dig out all the cards I got, and boom, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm connecting with all these people, and
I've gotten better at that. I was not as good in the beginning, but I've gotten better at that.
Yeah, and it's just to keep that energy and momentum alive.
You guys are always like wanting to connect people though, which is I think is what makes you so successful with the Tony P's networking events, is because you actually go out of your way to connect other people to each other.
Yeah, because we realized if you go to an event and you walk out of there and you don't feel like you've met anybody, what are the chances of you coming back, right?
Well, right, yeah.
So we want to make sure that all the new people, at least, I mean, we're dealing with hundreds of people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big crowd.
But yeah, we want to make sure that that we're very proactive at getting them introduced to as many people as possible, because those people, people keep people coming back.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
It's really not even about the environment as much anymore. Like some of the cooler venues we'll get a little bit
there
more
are some cool venues,
you know what I mean? But for the most part, it's about the people and the magic that happens. Yeah.
What I have to say, what I thought was really great is when I first started going to your events and I introduced myself to you guys, Tony actually called me after the event and really wanted to get to know me and how he could support me. And I really was just like, wow, I feel very welcomed and just accepted, and that just really left a great impression on me. And ever since, you guys are great. I mean, I love coming to your events whenever I can and be as supportive as I can. And it was just such a great experience overall from my first time going to today.
Yeah. No, I thank you for that, and you've been a great inspiration on us as well. I know I've shared this story with you several times now, but my first fashion show was at Stan Mansion that you did there. And I was just like, wow, the energy, just the people, and I loved it, and now here we are doing fashion shows. So you were the inspiration behind that.
That's a big production.
Yeah.
It's a big production. That took me 8 months, so God bless. You go. I'll just come be at you.
But it's a challenge, and it's something different and new. You're dealing with a lot of personalities, and that's what fuels me. Yeah.
What's your favorite one? What's your favorite event to do?
The fashion. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Why?
Simply because, you do. You get all the video, you get all the photography. You got 25 models that are lighting up the room, and it's their stage for a moment, which is just amazing. Seeing these people at their highest level of confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all about that confidence, And a lot of these people are like, I'm gonna do it, and they're doing
strutting their stuff.
Yeah, and you got the panel. I mean, you got the casting directors, and you got designers it's a lot of visionaries.
Oh yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
It is
so
fun.
I really do enjoy it. So you can get really creative and
What's next for Tony P's? You said that you're going to start taking this model up in other parts of the country, but besides that, what's next?
Yeah. So what's next for us is one, we definitely want to take it to other places outside of Chicago, and we've done it a couple times. We've been in Vegas. We've been in Houston.
In Florida too, right? Did you guys go do something out there?
We've scoped Florida out. Yeah. We're trying to decide between the Tampa area or the Miami area. One or the other. But that is next level. And going back to the virtual events, we now have people in place that can help us.
Okay.
Start doing that whenever we're ready to make that dive. And that was going to be the year, that was going to be one of the big initiatives this year.
Okay.
We're still going to get down to Nashville. We're planning that right now.
Cool. Nashville's fun.
But yeah, now that we have this studio
Yeah.
here, and we want to bolster the membership,
Yeah.
and really create that VIP, I know somebody type type of vibe.
I love that. Yeah.
So
I'm all about the VIP.
So membership, and then bigger productions with the fashion shows.
Okay.
And then going and exploring some other cities.
I love that. So are you and Tony going to be doing it yourself in other cities, or are you going to try to find someone there that's like the spokesperson for?
So that's what we're trying to figure out, is like how well these events can go without me and Tony being there, and just how much.
Franchise it out. You guys can franchise it out and say they have people pay for your outline.
Well, because the amazing thing is like Chicago is very transient, right? People are coming and going.
A lot of big cities are like that.
Yeah, a lot of big cities.
So I think it would work anywhere.
It would, but the point of it is like a lot of people that are in Nashville now, they're like, well, I lived in Chicago, for a number of years. I went to your events.
Exactly.
When are you coming here? So we got these bases. But I think the ideal scenario is we go down there, we do a launch event, and then we make sure that whoever it is that we're working with can facilitate them.
Cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
Thing, yeah.
That's a great idea. Oh my goodness, I'm excited to see that. It might give me an excuse to go to Nashville. I haven't been there in a long time.
Absolutely, yeah. So.
Well, I love it. And so we've got the tech, right?
Yep.
Real estate, cannabis. What am I missing? Regular networking events.
Yep, business entrepreneur, and then you got the fashion shows, and then we've actually we're testing out a couple things. Like we have a singles mixer tomorrow night, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
And then we also have an educational component, a board game called Bottom Line, where
that's right. I remember you telling me about that.
It's kind of the mix of Monopoly and Texas Hold'em.
Yeah, very cool.
But it's just a different style of networking.
Okay. Keeping things fresh.
We're trying to develop something for everybody.
Yeah, I like it. What's the difference between the panels with the with like cannabis focus versus the networking, the regular networking event?
Yeah, so we do a few different styles of events.
Yeah.
You get your general networking. It's kind of a free-for-all, and we'll do some announcements, in the middle, and recognize our sponsors, or have a featured speaker for like 5 minutes or something like that. We do a keynote where we'll have invite a speaker in, maybe do like 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
Then we have panel discussions where we'll have 3 or 4 thought leaders around a particular subject. Like AI was a very hot topic last year, and everybody's trying to crack that code. So we found like the top AI experts in Chicago. We put them on a panel. We said, "All right, tell us what's going on. Tell us what's happening here, because I can't figure it out." You know, in the cannabis world, it's kind of like that too, where there's something new and interesting happening. So we'll say, "Okay, let's talk to the farmers. Let's talk to the bud tenders. Let's talk to the people that run the dispensaries." So the panels are the thought leaders within like a segment of an industry.
The experts.
Yeah, they're the experts. Yep.
So you're probably learning a lot too.
And that's why I kind of like I like to just take in as much as I can. And
I love it. Very cool. With that being said, Greg, can you want to let the audience know where people can find more information about Appointments IQ and Tony P's networking events? So if you're here in Chicago or anywhere else you're coming to visit, definitely we're going to want to know how you can find an event.
Yeah, I'd say the best places to find out about me would be my website, gregdekalb.com. So, and then that has avenues to all my social channels, but with like Tony P's, it's Tony P's Network and Events. That's on Instagram, that's on Facebook, that's on
all over the place.
Yeah, it's hard to miss us.
Yeah, that's for sure. With that being said, you guys can put those links in the show notes. So go connect with Greg. He is on Instagram as well, and LinkedIn, like he said, and go check out Tony P's networking events. So check out the website. If you're coming to Chicago, or if you are here local, don't miss an event. There's something for everyone, and you will not be sorry that you got up off the couch and you actually went to go meet some new and interesting people.
That's right. Tony P's Network.
That's right. Yeah. Before we say goodbye, I always like to ask for last words of wisdom or advice. What would you like to leave with us today?
Yeah. Real simple. Always be networking.
That's right. Always be networking. All right, you guys. This is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free. To live your best life, you must live label free. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, rate, review, comment, share. And as always, I'll be back with more dynamic guests.